I guess that's growing up. Oh man, I can't believe we have another cold open.
Another one. Another cold open of Dan just singing guitar riffs. It's perfect.
Another one.
All right, well,
I love that.
I think we'll...
I was going to say, I love that commercial of like DJ Khaled telling the person to like brush his teeth. And he's like...
You gotta brush in a circular motion.
Another one.
Shows up every time I open up YouTube.
I mean, I'd rather those commercials than the NRA ones or the Donald Trump ones that I've gotten before in the past.
True.
Like, I have gotten quite a bit of those ones, and I'm just like,
yeah, that's
I hate
real.
it. Not a fan.
Welcome back to the Packie Run podcast. My name is AJ Lagambina.
And my name is Dan Mayotte. I thought are you going to say something else?
I was just going to say, and I am joined by my co-host, Dan Mayotte.
Here I am, Dan Mayotte.
We are always a shit show.
Well, that's just our charm.
It really is. It really is.
Yes.
We're broadcasting to you live from Nashville and Dennis, respectively.
No, I am currently in Tewksbury, Massachusetts.
Back home with the parents.
Back home with the rents. Fun time.
How's it feel being back on the North Shore, kid?
It's good. My mom's birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday, Mom.
And you're down in the basement. Is Mara upstairs?
Yes, she is.
Mara's upstairs getting prepared for her birthday. It's beautiful.
Yes. Oh my God.
Well, we've had a week here. We've had a week. We've had sports. We've had politics. A little bit of music. We can hit kind of all of the benchmarks of the Packie Run this week. But of course, we got to get started. Dan, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, tonight it's a bit of a meme.
There it is. I cracked mine beforehand. I'm sorry.
You may have seen on our Twitter, and our social media, a very funny video of me exclaiming, "It's a fine Pilsner." So tonight it's Miller Lite, just leaning into the meme.
You standing up on that ottoman in the middle of the Derby, Connecticut house, just holding, it wasn't a tall boy, it was one of the just little 8-ounce cans of Miller Lite and going, "A fine Pilsner."
It's funny.
It's, just the way you said it, I'll never forget it. It's how I say it every time I say it. When I was able to go to bars and stuff, I would explain the story to people over and over again. No one ever found it as funny as I did, but
I think it's
hey,
funny.
Man, it's a fine Pilsner. If you don't think that's funny, fuck you, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Which, speaking of our social media, we were supposed to actually go live the other day. Or yesterday. Yeah.
We were supposed to go live yesterday during the Bruins game as they actually started their playoff run. They weren't just playing round-robin games. And Columbus and Tampa Bay. Whew.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the rest of that game. And
as did I.
Just because it was just on. And, man... Oh man.
Fourth longest playoff game in NHL history.
Yeah. Like, that's incredible.
It was insane. They almost played 3 full games in one.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if we were going to miss the Bruins game, which, I mean, I don't care to see the Bruins. I'm still bitter. I'm still mad. It's about the principle. I've explained it multiple times. I'm not getting into it.
I had to have that exact conversation with somebody about the Celtics like 2 days ago. Somebody was asking me, again, I'm not at liberty to really discuss my employer, but For those of you that don't know, I have been training for a new position. I have a whole at-home desk setup and everything, and we had some icebreakers at the beginning of my training. We were talking about Boston sports and how I'm a huge Boston sports fan, and somebody started talking to me about the Celtics, and very similar to Dan, I was just like, I don't care. I don't like the Celtics. I have a personal vendetta against them. I'm bitter about it. No.
I will say this, like, I do like the Celtics, but I am a Brooklyn Nets fan just because I worked for their team for a period. So go Nets. They've been killing it in these playoffs or whatever you want to call them, or these playing games.
That's real.
And the Islanders, which also I was an employee of. So like I mean, they won today. They won against the Capitals, which all right. Like I'm into that. I'm happy about that. Before we get into the Bruins, which neither of us watched the game.
Oh, I was able to sneak in the game, but
oh, that's good. But like, let's hear what you're drinking this evening.
Mine is kind of exciting, not from an actual what I'm drinking standpoint, just the fact that I was finally able to find it because it took a while. And maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places. I'm not, despite our brand on this podcast, I'm not all that much of an alcohol connoisseur. It's usually just whatever's there.
Yeah.
I finally managed to find Narragansett, which
wow.
for me, that is very exciting. For most people, that's probably like, AJ, what are you doing? Why are you drinking trash beers? But I'm a fucking musician on a budget, basically living on his own down here in Nashville, Tennessee, originally from the Northeast. Narragansett has a special place in my heart. I finally found it. I don't have one to crack because I already cracked it and poured it into one of my Sam Adams, please sponsor us, glasses. I'm very happy to be drinking Narragansett right now, especially after a day where the Bruins managed to win. It's a decent, cheap beer. It's basically PBR from the Northeast. It's great. There's nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good beer. Always one of the cheaper options at the bar in Massachusetts. When bars were open, but I mean...
Exactly.
I mean, even in Brooklyn, you can get a Narragansett for $4, which, that's not bad. New York prices, like Brooklyn prices.
Yeah, downtown Nashville, every once in a while you'll see it somewhere. It's like $3 or $4, which is a little bit obnoxious for a cheapo beer, but hey, man.
Right.
Tastes like home. I'm good with it.
Right. So we kind of mentioned it earlier. We teased it a little bit earlier, but Bruins.
They're back, baby. We had game number 1 of the actual playoffs, not just the round-robin games. The Bruins looked alive for once.
You know what it is? They are honestly, it's probably a good thing that they got the 4th seed because this is kind of like the motivation. I mean, they lost every single Robin game.
Exactly.
So maybe they can build off of that momentum from, what is it, Carolina?
Yeah, they're playing Carolina right now.
I mean, whatever. But what were some of your thoughts? What were some of the things that you saw or some of the things that you wish they would do more of?
They woke up a little bit. I mean, Tuukka was fine, considering how many... I don't have any of the stats in front of me as far as shots on goal or anything like that. But Tuukka Rask sitting in the net looked fine. He didn't have anything that was particularly egregious. Carolina just managed to get a couple of good goals in on him, and fine. It's playoff hockey. You're playing against some of the best. That's how these things go. But our different lines just looked like they were alive, and early this morning. Interestingly enough, I have a group chat with a couple of my oldest friends. Actually, they might be my definitively 2 oldest friends. I grew up with them, did Boy Scouts together and stuff. Pat Marr and Sean Harkins, both friends of the pod.
Shout out to you guys because you always like and retweet our stuff. So
glasses up to them. Cheers. Salud, my brothers.
Yes.
Sean has a Discord server. It's called Roger is a Clown, which I love. And there's a handful of people in there that are just there to talk Boston sports, and they have a general thread and stuff. So Sean sent me an invite to it, and I spent a lot of time just kind of chatting back and forth with them during and after the game and stuff like that. So it was I lost my train of thought. It was it was nice to hang out in the Discord server and talk to them. But here was the point. I'm on track now. One of the kids in the chat mentioned during the first overtime, they were like, this is always where it gets scary, like late in the game or into overtime when the other team starts getting physical. A lot of the times the Bruins just kind of fold, which is absolutely true. We saw it a lot, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Blues last year, especially in that Game 7 when the Blues finally kind of found their rhythm and really started trying to be aggressive against us. We just started folding in half. It was bad. So I was kind of scared throughout the third period and the fourth period, but we pulled it together. Bruins managed to get a win out of it. I hope it sets kind of some momentum for them. We'll see how the playoffs go. The rest of the teams I don't really give a damn about. I'm okay with the Nashville Predators. If I have to root for them, I will. But where things stand right now, I'm still just bleeding black and gold.
Not going to bleed orange and blue? The Islanders can?
No.
Hell no? Come on.
Can't do it.
Come on. Not going to root for Johnny Boychuk or Brazil.
I like Boychuk.
I mean, Boychuk is a former Bruin. That's why I probably like it. That's why he's my favorite Islanders player because he brings back those fond memories of those Bruins teams.
Still can't. Hearing Boychuk's name is very similar to anytime somebody mentions Tim Thomas and you get that warm kind of feeling in your heart and you're like, I remember 2011.
Yeah.
And then that feeling just goes away.
That old guy that he was like the first person to say no, I don't want to be the president after a championship.
God bless Tim Thomas. Tim Thomas was the most Patriots-like Bruins player ever, I think. He was just so disinterested in everything besides the actual game of hockey.
Yeah.
Which is not actually dissimilar to one of my favorite Boston sports people of all time, Bobby Orr, who is so very much just I like the game, dude. I don't why are you asking me these social questions or these things I don't care. I just like the game.
Right. I mean, it's there's a famous quote by Michael Jordan, for example. He doesn't because he doesn't care about politics at all. He's what was it? Republicans have to buy shoes too. Something like that.
I mean, it's a little tone deaf here in 2020, but also
I mean, that was
I don't disagree with him.
I mean, that was back in 90 something. So, I mean, not the worst thing now. I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is. How are your Islanders doing? I haven't been paying attention to anything besides the Bruins, really. I've seen the Red Sox, and let's just not talk about it.
I mean, the Red Sox are, it's a shame about them, but at least they won. They swept, what was it, the Blue Jays last weekend?
I believe it was the Blue Jays. So,
but that's not saying much.
Yeah, that's not much of anything. So,
but I mean, the Islanders have been on a tear. They won 3 out of the 5, 3-1 against the Panthers. And then they won today against the Capitals. So they've been on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby. I'll take that any day. I don't know. When I was watching them at my job, they were just such a fun team to watch. Scrappy, young, hungry. I mean, I just something about them, and I hope they go far. Especially after years of not doing well and losing John Tavares a few years ago as well. That was their big star.
So they're kind of the opposite of the Bruins. The Islanders are scrappy, young, and hungry. The Bruins are kind of to a fault right now, put together and old.
Yeah, I mean, let's think about
Bergeron, Chara.
Chara is literally the same age as Tom Brady.
And has a whole foot on top of Brady.
That is true too. Also, wasn't it Brady's birthday last week?
I think so.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tom Brady. Happy 43rd.
When it comes to Boston sports kind of legends, though, if Brady broke his jaw last season, I don't think we would really be seeing much of Brady in the media or on the field this year, whereas Chara came back less than 24 hours later to continue to play in the Cup last year and is back again this year.
Chara's tough.
I love Brad Marchand. I love I love how scrappy and just kind of evil he is, which is why I have his jersey and why I wear it whenever the Bruins are playing.
He's the type of player that you love if he's on your team, but like if he's not on your team, you can't stand him.
He's the PK Subban of the Bruins.
Oh, easily.
You love him if he's there, and if he is not on your team, you just think the worst of him.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't blame other people. I mean, he's a good player. Gotta respect it.
He's a little dirty, but again, if he's playing for the Bruins, so...
Oh, he is so dirty.
Until such a time that he's not playing for the Bruins, I'm, it might... it might reflect negatively on me as a person, but I don't care. I like that he's playing for the Bruins. So
I mean, like I think at this point he's a mainstay for like the Bruins. Like if you look like even earlier this decade, like last decade, for example, like they had so many like young guys. Like
even if you just look at this
Tyler
past season,
Seguin. Yeah, what?
This past season didn't I think he scored 100 goals this past season before the pause, which by the way, I love all of the different sports commentators that are doing these playoff games and during the round robin and everything. They're referring to the NHL stopping play as the pause, which is very similar to the way that the Marvel movies referred to Thanos snapping his glove. Everything after that, like everything in the 5 years between that and Avengers Endgame was called the blip. So every time I hear that every time I hear one of these sports commentators talking about, oh, before the pause, it's like, oh, Jesus. It's like before the blip.
Yeah.
Like we really are living in that kind of era, aren't we?
A weird time, my friend.
It's fucking insane, dude. So what were you saying before I cut you off to talk about Avengers shit?
I don't see him being on the block to be able to trade. But then again, like the history of the Bruins, like they've traded some of their best players away at their peak or whatever. Look at Joe Thornton, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was it? Mina Lucic?
Yeah, Lucic.
Yeah.
Hockey, the hockey kind of trading and drafting and everything else, it seems a little bit more haphazard than, say, the NFL or the MLB.
Right.
It's a little, those moves with the players and everything don't seem to be as, and this might be speaking from a position of privilege as a Patriots fan, where the Patriots just seem to always be able to make the right move at the right time. 9 times out of 10.
I mean, we've had duds in our category, though.
We've definitely had duds, but I think for a team that has gone to the Super Bowl 9 times and won 6 of them in the past 20 years, our stats are a hell of a lot better than most.
That is true, but like I can definitely think of a couple Patriots duds off the top of my head that just didn't work out at all and were cut like during preseason. I mean, look at Chad Johnson, for example.
Ocho Cinco.
That's a fun player, but like he just didn't work out for the Patriots.
Meanwhile, again, we have very minimal film. We really only have, interviews and a couple of videos of unofficial, and now, as of today, a couple of official practices and stuff like that. I'll be damned if Cam Newton just doesn't look good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he has said all the right things. Like
he is right from the get-go. Again, with very minimal input for somebody who's just a fan. Neither of us have any insider information or anything, but
no.
Dude, anybody that was worried about like, how is Cam going to play with Belichick and, the media personality that's expected from the Patriots and like culturally this might be such a move and everything else, but like, Cam seems to be right on the money and
he just wants to work, and I appreciate that. And he's in the position where he's like, all right, I got to fight for my job. If I want to be starting quarterback and succeed like Tom Brady, which that's going to be the hardest follow-up act of all time.
But it doesn't have to be. And that's one of the things that impresses me about Cam so much is that in these interviews and everything, he's just kind of sitting back and he's like, yes, I understand that's the elephant in the room. Like, what happened before me doesn't even need an introduction. Like,
yeah,
that is Like, there's all the respect in the world for Tom Brady. And, you know, Bo Burnham, famous Boston comedian, was on The Herd with Colin Cowherd. And he was talking about the whole Brady versus Belichick and whoever. And I was right there with him. Like, I don't care who wins a Super Bowl next. I don't care about the Brady versus Belichick kind of dynamic as a whole. I think it would be funny if one of them wins out over the other and, you know, the media frenzy can continue or whatever. But as a whole,
I mean, it's entertainment,
Brady,
for sure.
Yeah, from an entertainment value, like, yeah, absolutely. I can understand why that's a constant point that people are talking about. And I can understand why people would feel a way one way or the other. And in my heart of hearts, I really do want to see Belichick win out and be able to kind of look at Brady and be like, yeah, you were nothing without me, because I'm a Belichick fan before I'm a Brady fan. Again, in my heart of hearts. But
Right.
I have no bad feelings towards Tom Brady. If Brady and the Buccaneers end up pulling a Super Bowl out of their ass this year, fucking fantastic, dude. Like, Brady's my guy. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
I would support him. Like, they end up in the Super Bowl, like, I will still support Brady no matter what, unless it's the Patriots. If like it ends up being the Patriots and the Buccaneers, that's
then
a different
I gotta go
scenario.
with the Patriots.
I mean, I would secretly root for both.
We've talked about it on this podcast before. It's a tribalism thing. My hometown teams are more important to me than any of the other stuff. Whether I like a player, whether it doesn't matter. I'll root for other players, but the be all end all for me is my hometown team. So, like, I have a personal vendetta against the Celtics, right?
Yeah.
But as opposed, and no shade to you,
right?
You've moved on. You like the Islanders and everything else, or the Nets rather.
Yeah.
You like the Nets. Great for you. But my thing was, well, I've got a personal vendetta against the Celtics. They did dirty by somebody that I love. So I guess I just don't like basketball anymore. Not that I really liked basketball to begin with.
That's fair.
You know, if the Patriots suck this year or next year or 5 years from now, well, that blows. But hey, welcome to being a Boston fan. That was us throughout the 80s and 90s.
Right.
Like, that's how these things go.
I mean,
like, that's my hometown team. It doesn't matter where I'm living, you know.
A team is full of hills and valleys, like highs and lows. I mean, we've never seen that low yet, but I mean, I guess our lows would just not be making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we had a while.
Yeah,
we had a good long wait between Super Bowls and stuff. Like, you know, in our lifetimes, we've experienced a little bit of loss. And then, you know, both of us being, you know, 90s children, we didn't experience it, but we were born and raised, and we kind of learned by osmosis what it means to be a Red Sox fan.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why it's kind of, you know, like, it sucks, but it's also just okay for us to deal with, like, the Mookie Betts trade and the Red Sox sucking so far this year and everything else. It's just like, well, I mean,
the Mookie Betts trade,
abysmal.
That one hurt.
Abysmal.
That one hurts me, and like, all I gotta say is I want Alex Verdugo to turn into something special. I hope he does, but like, Mookie Betts, man, that one. And you could tell me to get over it, but like, man, that one stings.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that stings. It's not at that level, but it has those echoes of like a Bambino kind of curse, where it's just like, you gave the greatest kind of talent, personality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, on this team, and you just booted him.
I say the best homegrown Red Sox talent since Carl Yastrzemski. And I don't even think that's a crazy, ridiculous statement to make. I mean, I think he's better than Nomar. I think he's better than Mo Vaughn, Dwight Evans, Wade Boggs, Jim Rice. I think he has that kind of potential to be better than all of those guys.
That's real. That's real talk.
And he's 26 years old, which means he's only going to get better. And
I think it was a mistake on the end of the Red Sox organization, but what are you going to do?
Like, I've mentioned this before, but like, the reason they traded him was to cut payroll. And I mean, they would have had the money for him if they didn't sign David Price to that stupid contract. I remember the day that they signed David Price, and I hated. I was like, nope. I hate this contract. I don't hate David Price as a person. Like, I mean,
Well, and I had that conversation with my friend down here. Again, friend of the pod. I don't think he's interacted with us that much on social media and stuff, but he has definitely been watching all of our stuff and whatever. Friend of the pod, Dylan Valentine. I remember when Dylan and I were talking about it when we signed David Price to that contract. Dylan was like, "Oh, dude." Like, there were already rumors at that time about Mookie making moves, and maybe the Red Sox weren't going to be able to make everything work and stuff. And yeah, dude,
they signed
of
David
all the
Price.
people.
Yeah, which I mean, like, if David Price was a good pitcher back then, like, he still kind of is. He's a serviceable pitcher, but my beef with it was they signed a 30-year-old pitcher to like a 7-year, $200 million contract. Like, that's the beef with it. Like, you don't sign a 30-year-old, especially a pitcher, for that long. They're not going to do well. They're not going to age well. They're going to fail. And I knew, like, right away, like, that contract was not going to age well, and it didn't. He had like 2 good seasons, and yeah, he's out the door now, finally. But at what expense? We had to get rid of Mookie Betts with that. Also, Nathan Eovaldi. Why is he signed to a $17 million contract? Anyways, like, Nathan Eovaldi signed to, I forget what the exact number is, but he's getting paid $17 million a year. He is the worst. I can't express this enough. He is probably the worst, like, not the starting pitcher, but like the head of the rotation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, he should never be a number 1 starter, but he is at this point because Chris Sale also signed to a ridiculous contract. Chris Sale had 2 good seasons, and now he's just been like on the DL the whole time.
Yeah, dude. Not what you want to see out of a sports team like that.
Like, I'm big mad about the Red Sox.
I can
just they better not blow the prime careers of Rafael Devers, Andrew Benintendi, and Xander Bogaerts. Please. I don't care about Jackie Bradley Jr. I don't care.
I think I'm still thinking Jackie Bradley Jr. might be part of a team as a whole, but
I mean, to me, and I don't even think this is much of a hot take, like, Jackie Bradley Jr. is disposable, and like, we could do better at center field than him. Good defensively, hitting, not so much.
Point well taken. The Red Sox are just
I mean, it's a rebuilding year. We didn't expect much this year. Like, we've said it a bunch of times.
Especially not with the shortened season and everything else. Like, it's a whole new, forgive the phrase, it's a whole new ball game. But like, dude, we could have set ourselves up a lot better than we have now.
Well, yeah, and also, like, we have JD Martinez, who, I mean, that's a big contract for somebody, but I'll say this about him, at least he's lived up to the contract.
That's real.
Like, out of all the big names on the Red Sox that have gotten paid a lot of money, he is the one guy that has actually lived up to his contract. I mean, his job is to just hit dingers, and all he does is hit dingers.
That's true.
Yeah. I think that's it for Red Sox talk.
Because it's just too depressing.
Unless you have anything else to add to it.
No, dude. The Bruins came out swinging. I'm feeling good about that. That's what we needed out of them, especially after 3 round-robin games. That's how this shit works.
Right. Yeah.
And, that's, Patriots look good, but we'll see how things look with actual padded practices and everything else. And the Red Sox are the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, and the Celtics are looking good as well. I've seen a couple of their games.
I saw some hype around Gordon Hayward, but again,
He's doing well.
I didn't really follow basketball to begin with, and with my feelings on the Celtics right now, I just don't give a damn. So,
I mean,
give
I
us
don't
an
blame
update.
you.
How are the Celtics looking?
Celtics are. I've tuned into a couple of their games. They're looking good. I mean, Jason Tatum is a monster. He's clearly the best player on the Celtics. Kemba Walker is a good number 2 option. With Jaylen Brown, like, playing defense and scrapping. Same thing with, like, Marcus Smart.
Good for them.
That's all I can say. But
it is what it is as far as Boston sports goes. We'll see how things play out.
Yes.
By the end of August, I guess we'll know how the Bruins feel. We'll start seeing a little bit more out of the Patriots, and we'll be able to give some more hot takes on that. But man,
a little bit of a dull there.
Right now it's all question marks for Boston sports teams.
But anyways, let's get into some other things that have happened. Most notably, what happened yesterday with Joe Biden picking his vice president.
Uncle Joe.
And we usually don't get political on here, but sometimes...
when we do, we dive in head first, though.
So this is what we're going to do. We're diving head on into this.
Straight in.
My first reaction was sadness.
Well, let's tell the good people at home what actually happened.
Right.
Uncle Joe Biden, Democratic nominee for President of the United States, announced his VP candidate yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it is Kamala Harris, former adversary, I guess.
Yeah,
that's about what I'm thinking. It's not a particularly inspiring candidate. It's the VP. I mean, so part of me is just like, well, what do you want? It's a vice presidential candidate. It is what it is, dude. Like, that's how these things happen. The VP is ceremonial. It's
right.
It's not everything that people make it out to be, but it is the person that could potentially take over, especially with somebody like Joe Biden, who is
senile.
not at
senile.
Yes.
He has early
not at the peak of health.
He has early onset dementia.
So
I don't even think it's early either.
In terms of purely Democrat versus Republican politics, yeah, not the most inspiring candidate. But like,
I mean, here's my thing about Kamala Harris.
Go for it.
And I mentioned this before we even started recording. She is somebody that neither side, no one should like her, and I can give you a list of reasons why you shouldn't like her either. And you should be as mad as I am about it.
Well, here's my thing. Let's remove the past 6 months.
Okay.
From our minds. 6 months ago, this is a perfectly logical and natural choice from Joe Biden. A person of color who is a woman, who is fairly progressive as far as American politics are concerned. Again, Dan is shaking his head at me. And I get where you're coming from. I'm saying erase the past 6 months of your head.
She's a moderate Democrat, though. She's a moderate.
She is left of center for American politics. She's a
moderate.
She is a conservative by like anywhere else in the world. She is a conservative. But in American politics, she is left of center. And from a how do you put it? From a traditional American Democrat view, yeah, she makes perfect sense. And that's why it makes perfect sense that she's the choice and why it's also a massive issue. If you remove the past 6 months, of course, like 6 months ago, of course, yes, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, that ticket makes perfect sense. In August of 2020, after the COVID virus and after all 50 states were having protests and the rest of the world was having protests about the Black Lives Matter movement and all of the other kind of political things that come with that, she is a tone-deaf choice.
No, I mean, I have to disagree with you. I think even 6 months ago, she was a bad choice. She has never been a good choice. Like, one of the things I really take issue with is her putting thousands of people in jail for petty weed crimes and then going on a show and laughing about how she did weed and smoked like weed to Tupac and Snoop Dogg, which, by the way, they weren't even out yet before, like, when she was in college. And AJ is looking at his, like, has his hand in his head
because I'm on board with you. Because the hypocrisy is rampant with her.
And she also left. The thing about her too is she kept more people in prison, even like though they were up for parole, because she just wanted cheap California labor. Look it up. It's true. She did that.
It is. But here's the thing with her and with American politics as a whole. Somebody posted it. I think it was on Instagram. I don't remember. Somebody said, politics is not a dating app. It's public transit.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen that meme.
Politics is not a dating app. Voting for president and vice president of the United States, and this applies from the top of the ticket all the way down. Politics is not a dating app. It's not finding the exact perfect person every time. That's not, you're just going to be disappointed every time, and you're going to be burned out, and you're not going to want to do these kind of things anymore.
That's fair. That is fair.
It's not a dating app. It's public transit. When you miss your bus, when you miss your subway, when you miss your train, when you miss your whatever, right? You don't just sit back and go, well, fuck it. I'm not going to work today. I didn't find the one that's going to drop me off a block and a half from work or whatever.
Right.
It's you miss your train, you miss your bus, you miss your whatever. You find that next one that's going to get you there as quick as possible. And every once in a blue moon, the next bus that comes by, the next train that comes by is another, it's another B on the green line. If we're the Packie Run podcast, we're going to talk in terms of the T, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the next train that comes along while you're sitting at government station is the B line, and it's going to get you right there, and it's going to get you to Kenmore. And I don't remember if the B line actually goes to Kenmore. I'm sorry. But fuck it. We'll just say that the B line takes you to Kenmore.
Just roll with it. Someone can correct us online.
Sometimes the next train is the exact right one and it's going to get you there. And sometimes it's the one that's going to drop you off 4 or 5 blocks from work. And you just got to deal with it. And to get there in as little time as possible, you just got to get on the next train that's going to get you where it's going to go.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You are right. I just hate that you're right.
Oh, believe me.
Like
believe me. I'm not happy it's Joe Biden in the first place. I'm not stoked that it's Kamala Harris as, the next name down on the ticket. It's not what I wanted or why I'm here or anything, but it's also the same thing. I've made some headway. I have 2 fairly conservative parents. I have a largely conservative family, and so many of them talk in these same things where it's just like they hear the word socialist or they hear any of these other, for lack of a better term, trigger words that immediately turn them off from somebody like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden. Name a Democrat, name a Republican, where people hear their names and they're immediately just like, this person is not... They're not perfect in my eyes, so everything that's wrong with them, I have to eviscerate, right?
Right.
Federal politics, that's not how it works. That's how it works when you're dealing with local and state politics. If you're local legislators, or if you're local, the Massachusetts House of Representatives, the Halifax, Massachusetts, the Plymouth, Massachusetts Board of Selectmen or whatever, if those people do not align with your views the way that you want them to,
vote their ass out.
Yeah, okay, fine. But when it comes to federal politics, you need to have people at the top that are looking beyond, a year from now, 2 years from now. You need to have people at the top that are looking beyond, the common American's wallet or whatever. They need to be looking way beyond that kind of spectrum. And then it's a top bottom kind of system. Those people need to have the vision, and then the people in the lower kind of statures, your congressmen, your federal congressmen, your state congressmen, your state senators, your town of selectmen, your mayor, your whatever, those people need to be keeping your wallet in mind. But the people at the top need to be dealing in terms of what is best for the entire country. And,
Right.
you know, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a progressive voter. Whoever is giving me ideas and theories and values that are the best for the most possible people at any given time is going to get my vote. So in terms of a presidential election that's coming up, yeah, dude, I don't like Kamala Harris. I don't really like Joe Biden. They're not the people that I want to see at the top of the ticket. They do not have my best interests in mind. I do not, I am not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of anybody who sits back and thinks that I'm the person that's going to be president of the United States. That's a fucked up thought to have in the first place. Never mind to act on it. That's, none of the people that are there at the top of the ticket have your best interests in mind. A lot of this kind of thing is a vanity project, and fuck that. But it's a society we're living in. It does one way or another. It does directly affect you. So do you want to see somebody at the top of the ticket who is actually trying to do things that are the best for the most people? Or do you want to see somebody like Donald Trump who is just sitting there and has gone full into the vanity project side of things? That's one of the interesting parts about a Trump presidency is that it used to be that the president of the United States was a vanity project, but it was all kind of on the down low. It was all kind of below the surface. Everybody knew it, but nobody wanted to talk about it. That person's just there. That person's just campaigning or whatever because, they need their ego stroked. Whereas now we have Donald Trump as a president and it's like, oh, this person is literally just here and is saying as much. They're literally just here because they need their ego stroked. And that's the thing. He broke the fourth wall, and that's not how this is supposed to work. It's not how it was supposed to work for years and years and years before, but now the glass is kind of shattered and it's like, okay, this is fucked up and it needs to stop.
Don't get me wrong. I will vote for Joe Biden just because I have to. It's who do you hate more? And I feel salty that we're at the point now where you can't really support either one. Both of them have done a lot of irredeemable things that I think should, morally, I can't support either of them. I can't support either vice president either. They're both terrible in their own way, and they don't deserve anyone's support. But
who else do you go? Yeah.
It's going to be Joe. I have to vote Joe. And we're not going to tell you who to vote for here. That's totally up to you and your what you think. I will say this, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, you should be mad about Kamala Harris. You should be mad about her because she's not a good person at all. You could even argue she is worse than Joe Biden. Also, it's kind of strange with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden because at one of the debates, I think it was earlier this year, she was coming at Joe Biden and disagreeing with him about everything. But I guess there were moments where other politicians other people couldn't get a word in because they were going back and forth with one another. But I think at this point it's just a safe face, and Camilla and Joe will just say whatever to get the voters to vote for them at this point, even though they're both kind of just full of shit.
Welcome.
They're both lying.
Welcome
They're
to
big
American
fat
politics,
liars,
my friend. It's how this shit goes.
Yeah, that is American politics for us.
Well, that is, yeah. It's just how this shit goes. You gotta vote your conscience, and your conscience can't just be based on whoever your favorite media personality is or whatever. You have to actually look at proposed policies and, the actual words that these people have spoken and say, hey, which side of this do I actually fall on when it's a binary like this, when it's a Democrat versus an incumbent Republican, right? You gotta be able to sort that shit out, and you can't just vote based on, sensationalism and, again, whatever media personality you like. You gotta actually go and do what you actually think is right and what's actually going to be the best for you and your family. And sometimes that means swallowing the pill, dude. It's It's how these things go.
It's how the cookie crumbles. It's how, I don't know.
It does.
Just sucks. But what else is new? That's growing up, I guess.
It's how these things go. Well, I think this week we'll keep things short since I'm still in the middle of training and got to be up early in the morning and shit. I think we covered most of what we wanted to cover.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's hop into some recommendations then.
Transition. Do you like that transition? Did you like that recommendation? Did you give it a listen? Tell me what you think down in the comments below.
I can't think of any of the other Anthony Fantano memes that I could reference.
Melon boy.
Best teeth in the fucking game.
Damn, boy.
Damn
boy. Damn, boy. He thick, boy. He's a thick ass boy.
That's a thick ass boy.
Oh, that's one of the better.
God damn it.
I love God. Anthony Fantano is a god around here.
How do we always manage to get this far off the fucking rails?
It happens, but I am a fan of that.
Yeah, those are our best episodes. I'll tell you that much.
What is your recommendation, AJ?
My recommendation this week is pretty simple. It's a song by a band that we both love called Cheem, Cheem.
Ooh, true.
Cheem has a song called Basement Show BB.
Yo.
It's up on all of your streaming services. It took me a while to finally get to it, but
that song's a banger.
What a song.
Banger.
It's the perfect hybrid of like indie pop rock that Cheem has always been doing. Very catchy, very kind of just upbeat kind of indie pop music, but also it's got some trap beats. It's got a little bit of flow. It's a good song. Basement Show BB by Cheem. It's a fucking jam.
It's a hit. Such a hit. Let me look at thing I'm gonna actually recommend for the kids at home. I created a new playlist on Spotify called New Music 2020.
Oh, yeah.
And there it's all albums, by the way. It's not, I didn't do songs, I just did albums. And I haven't updated it in a little less than a month, but it has a good list of some of the newest rock in the rock genre. I don't know. A rock is hard to come by these days. I feel like it's slowly going out. It is going out at this point. In case you haven't noticed, I mean, there are no like popular pop punk bands or or like rock bands anymore.
Hard to come by.
Yeah, it's hard to come by. So I definitely curated a list. Some are definitely in the underground. Some are quite simply mainstream. I mean, there's no like Green Day or shit like that, but like, I got like Milk Teeth. I got Joyce Manor, who put out an album this year. Remo Drive, Gleamer, Nudie Mag, and there's a couple other ones. The new Father John Misty is fantastic. I would recommend listening to that on this playlist. I mean, Father John Misty puts out everything is good by him.
Agreed.
But I would recommend listening to that. And also, shameless plug for me, you should listen to my radio show. It's Brooklyn Bandstand on Radio Free Brooklyn. It's online radio, so just go to radiofreebrooklyn.org. There I do a radio show every Friday from 4 to 5. And lately, I've been diving into local record labels, kind of what they have going for them. So check out what I'm going to do this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
4 o'clock Friday, Radio Free Brooklyn, radiofreebrooklyn.org.
And while you're listening to Radio Free Brooklyn, Brooklyn Bandstand with Dan Mayod, hit up our Instagram and our Twitter at Packie Run Pod.
Yes.
Give us some feedback. Tell us what to talk about next. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Rate us on iTunes and your other podcast players. And just give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we'd love to.
All right, man. You got anything else to add?
That is it. I will talk to you guys next week.
Cool.
Hope you have a good weekend, and a good night or a good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is for when you're listening to this.
Beautiful.
And a good week.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Yes. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.